Today, I want to talk about one of the most common questions that I get asked by a potential home buyer, and that's, is it a good time to purchase? What if I waited 6 months or 12 months down the road to purchase and waited till maybe rates came down? Well, today we're going to go through an exercise called the cost of waiting analysis to really break down the details and settle this once and for all, that purchasing a home is still a good investment, even in a higher rate environment, and even if you're expecting rates to go down in the future. So let's dig right in. On the left-hand side of the screen, what you'll notice is that there's a couple different blocks here in yellow where we can adjust some of these parameters. So what we've used as assumptions in this video are going to be, in this case, a purchase of a property at a sales price of $800,000. We're looking at a current interest rate as a comparison factor here of 7.125%. And we're using a projected rate 12 months down the road, say a year from now, say rates go down to 6%. And what would that look like? We've used a down payment of 10%, and we've used a current rental scenario of $2,800 a month and an assumed appreciation rate for properties in this area of 4% on an annual basis. So taking a look at the blocks here on the right, you'll see here our first block is listed as current rent. So what this is telling you is that over a 12-month time horizon, assuming no increases in rent, if you're paying $2,800 a month, you would end up paying $33,600 in rent. Not a very fun number. Taking a look at our second column there, buy now. So this is saying this: if you bought that $800,000 home now, put a 10% down payment of $80,000, that'd give you a loan amount of $720,000 with an interest rate of 7.125% on a 30-year term. The principal and interest payment would be $4,850.77. Simple enough. Taking a look at the next column, we have buy later. So say you waited 12 months to purchase and homes appreciated at 4%, like we said before. That same $800,000 home is now $832,000. That same 10% down payment is now increased to $83,200, giving you a loan amount of $748,800. Now, in this case, we've got that rate of 6% that you were hoping for. On a 30-year term, you'd have a payment of $4,489.43. Of course, that's going to be less than what you'd be paying if you bought now. But let's take a look. What if you bought now and then 12 months from now, when rates did come down, you already had the house and you refinanced to get that lower interest rate? Over those 12 months, you'd have paid down your loan balance from an original $720,000 to $712,861. Now, say on top of that, of course, there is a cost to refinance. It's not free. So say we assume that you have financed 1% in closing costs for the refinance. So no longer do you have that $712,000 loan. You're now borrowing $719,989, almost where you started at $720,000. Again, you're at that rate of 6%, a 30-year term. Your payment is actually going to be lower at $4,316.70 a month than if you had waited to buy and bought at that higher price point at that higher loan amount. Now, to bring it all home, let's take a look at that total cost of waiting over 12 months. We've gone through each of these factors as we've gone through each of the columns, but this will kind of consolidate it all together. So first off, in terms of your cost of waiting, you have an increase in down payment due to the higher sales price. We started at $800, we increased to $832 with the 4% appreciation. That's $3,200 more in down payment that you'd have to put for a 10% down payment. Missed equity from the home appreciation in 12 months. We already talked about you could have bought now at $800,000. You're buying later, 12 months at $832,000. So that's $32,000 in equity that you missed by choosing to wait later to purchase. And then lastly, we have our rent payments over the last 12 months of $33,600. So if we add all that up, you can see there in red, the total cost of waiting 1 year to purchase in this scenario is $68,800. So in one hand, yes, you're waiting and you're getting that lower monthly payment. You have that benefit there. But what was the opportunity cost of waiting for that lower payment? If you could have bought now and could have afforded that monthly payment, at least for 12 months in this assumed scenario, you would have got the benefit of even lower monthly payment 12 months from now by refinancing, as well as saved yourself $68,800 on the cost of waiting. So hopefully this dispels some of the myths surrounding whether or not it's a good time to buy or not, and offers some clarification. But if you'd like to discuss more, I'd like to go over a scenario that you have personally, please feel free to reach out to me. My name is Richard Fiegel with the Leslie Wish team at Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. You can reach me at rfiegel@fairwaymc.com or by phone at 571-438-7077. Thanks so much.